Video poker is known as the best machine to play in the entire casino, and for good reason. It has some of the best paybacks you can possibly get, and it's actually a skill-based game, meaning if you know how to play the game, you can have an advantage to win at video poker. In today's video, we're covering 3 topics. The first topic is going to be how video poker is programmed and the payback percentages. The second topic is going to be about different games on video poker, which are the best and which are the worst. And the third, finally, is going to be strategies to help you win. Here's everything you need to know about video poker. Welcome back, everybody, to the Cowboy Slot Channel, where I bring you experienced advice from years of working in the casinos, tips, reviews, and a whole lot more. Be sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to stay notified when I come out with future videos. If this is your first time on my channel, be sure to check out my video library. I have tons of videos on methods for slot machines, casino mythbusters, and so much more. So if you have questions, definitely go through my video library and check those out. There are tons of videos in there answering common questions. In today's video, I am pleased to welcome the hosts of the American Casino Guide, Matt and Steve Borey. Not only are they the hosts of the American Casino Guide, but they also have years of experience in video poker, and they're here to help answer our questions and cover these 3 topics. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Matt and Steve from the American Casino Guide.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the Cowboy Slot Channel. Today, I am joined by Matt and Steve Borey from the American Casino Guide. Guys, thanks for being here so much to talk about video poker with us.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right, so before we really dive into the video poker, tell us a little bit about American Casino Guide and your channel and what you guys offer.
All right. Well, I started the American Casino Guide book. If you see behind me here, we used to sell it in all the major bookstores. It was Barnes and Noble was one of them, and I did that for 29 years. And about 10 years or so ago, Matt joined me.
It's been 15 years now, Dad.
Oh, has it been 15? Time flies. Okay, so Matt's my son. And so I've been putting this book out. It was a guide to all the casinos in the United States. The front part had information on how to play the games. The middle part had information on all the casinos in every state. And then the back part had coupons to save you money when you went to the casinos. Had been doing that for 29 years. But COVID came along and all the casinos shut down. So we sort of got wiped out there. And we've switched gears. We were always doing about 10 years or so ago, I'd started making YouTube videos. So Matt and I now put out YouTube videos. We still have our website, AmericanCasinoGuidebook.com. So if anyone wants information about the casinos, any casino in the United States, you can go there, you can read about it, you can write reviews, you have maps. We also have an app, the American Casino Guide app. It's free. You can get it in the App Store or the Google Play Store, and they'll bring up maps showing you, give you directions to the casino. It's very handy and it's free. That's the best part of all.
And we have some coupons in the app as well. There's free coupons in the app to use, mostly in Las Vegas, so not really anywhere else, but we're working on expanding those as well. So
I think that's really cool. I think that's really fun. That's something different that not a lot of people can offer. And we're going to include the links to your channel as well as your website in the description of this video as well for people to check out. So this video, we're going to be talking about video poker. We've got 3 categories to cover. The first category is going to be how video poker is programmed and a little bit about like the payback percentages and stuff like that. The second category we're going to cover is going to be games, like what are the best games, what are the worst games to play. And then finally, we'll round out the call with some strategies to help people out on winning at video poker. So if you guys don't mind, let's go right into some questions.
Sure.
All right. So the first question that I have for you is video poker is known as being one of the best games to play in the casino. In terms of payback percentages and so on and so forth. Do you guys find that to be true? And tell us a little bit about that.
All right, Matt, you want to start?
yeah, so It's the payback on video poker is definitely going to be better than a slot machine, and the main difference is between a slot machine and a video poker machine is that the game has to be based off the odds of an actual deck of cards, like 152 card deck or a 54 card deck if you're playing Joker, anything with jokers. So the thing is they can't like change how easy or how hard it is to get a certain hand. Like, you know, in a slot machine, they can just change the number of symbols on the reels to edit the payback. On video poker, they can't do that. So the way that they change how much they pay you back, what the payback of the machine is based on what they pay you for each individual hand. So that's a cool thing about video poker is if you learn how to do it, you can sit down at a video poker machine, pull up the pay table, and know exactly what that machine is set to pay back in the long run. You could never do that on a slot machine. And once you know how to do that, if you look, you'll see that like even I think the worst video poker I've ever seen is like 94.5, maybe 95% payback. And I mean, if you look at the stats from payback statistics for slot machines, and that's on a quarter machine where you bet if you're playing one hand, you're betting $1.25 per hand. If you were on a penny slot machine where it's very easy to bet $1.25 per spin or more, those paybacks can be as low as 88 to 90%. So if you can learn, but the video poker paybacks, that's if you know how to play the game correctly, I should put as a caveat. So if you can learn to play video poker correctly, and even the worst machines in a casino in the entire country are going to pay 94.5%. You know, the good games can pay up to 99.5% for full pay jacks or better machine, which can be found throughout the country. And there's even some machines that pay back over 100% if you know what you're doing. However, you're not really going to find those outside of Nevada. But it's definitely, if you learn to play video poker, you will definitely 100% get a higher payback than you would on a slot machine in the long run.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to add there, yeah, video poker is a game of skill. So if you know how to play your hands properly, you will do better than someone who sits there and guesses how to play their hands. And Matt had mentioned there's one game in Nevada, it's getting rarer. Full pay Deuces Wild. I think it's 100.76%. So the game returns over 100%. People say, well, how could a casino put a game out there if it's going to return more than 100%? How are they going to make money on it? Well, it'll only return that if you know how to play the game perfectly. And most people will go in there and they're guessing and they don't know. So the casino can put it out there and they can still make money off it because people don't know how to use the proper strategy. I know you want to talk about strategy later, but that's one particular game. And there are professional video poker players out there. I think a lot of them, though, may go for progressives. Once a progressive reaches a certain level, then it makes the overall payback percentage on that machine over 100%, and then they would pursue that progressive. But so I was going to say, well, there are no professional slot machine players. But nowadays, with some of these, what do they call them, persistent state, there are some slot machines where you might be able to get an advantage and people go around looking for those machines. But in the long history of, it used to be you couldn't make money on slot machines, but you could make money as a video poker player.
Which is awesome. We'll get into a lot of the different strategies and stuff and the games later. I know there's people are really excited about that. And video poker, I mean, definitely, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, video poker is the best machine to play in general in terms of odds in the casino. And I think it gets overlooked a lot by a lot of people. So I know video poker is programmed kind of a very similar to a slot machine. We used to use actually the same programming chips for a slot machine that we did for a video poker unit. So in terms of random number generator, does the video poker machine use a random number generator? And if so, how is it different?
Well, I had done an interview years ago with a programmer at IGT, which is the world's largest manufacturer. I think they do like 90, maybe 95% of all the video poker games. And yeah, there's just, so there are, I think we have it in the book out on our website. I think it's slightly more than, I think 2.6 million on any 5-card deal, there's 2.6 million possible hands that you can be dealt. So these numbers are constantly rotating. And then when you push the draw button, it stops and it picks the 5 cards. And some people say, well, does it pick 10 cards and gives you the first 5 and the other 5 come after? Well, I think years ago, it used to be done. I think they call it serial or parallel, because sometimes they would deal you 5 cards and underneath there would be 5 cards. But nowadays, what they do, and I think they were worried about people being able to find out the order of the cards that were coming after. So they changed it now. They changed it years ago. So once you dealt the 5 cards and you're deciding what to do, the remaining cards, there's 47 cards left, are still being shuffled. And when you hit the draw button, that is when it stops and it deals those cards. So, but it's just like a slot machine. It's all done through a random number generator.
And
as I said, sorry, but as I said before, the difference between the video poker and the slot machine is slot machines can have an infinite number of combinations. A video poker machine has to have that set number of combinations over, I forget what it is, just over like 2.5 million, whatever it is, the combinations. Probably should have looked that up before the interview, but it is a finite number of combinations. They can't just keep expanding it. It has to be based off the limitations of one deck of cards.
And I know that's one of the biggest questions that I always get asked from people about video poker is, and I think you pretty much already answered it. So you hit the deal button initially, so your first 5 cards come up. Is the if you hold, then the player goes through and they hold their cards. Are the next cards already predetermined, or are the next cards random? And I think you already answered that they're actually random. So the system is still shuffling that. So the next cards are completely random from what the player held initially.
Yes. That was through IGT. I think Bally makes some, and there might be a couple of other smaller manufacturers, but IGT that makes most of the games. I interviewed him years ago, and that's what he said.
Awesome.
Yeah, because the thing is slot machines, excuse me, casinos are convinced that everybody that walks in the door is trying to rip them off and steal money from them. So they're very, very paranoid. So their rationale was, well, if the machine's dealing 10 cards, somehow somebody's going to be able to find out what those other 5 cards are behind it and get an advantage. So if the machine's only showing the first 5 cards and the second 5 cards are random, there'd be no way for anyone to possibly figure out those second 5 cards. So that was, I believe it was the casinos thinking that somebody could find a way to rip them off if they dealt all 10 cards at once.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest question I get asked all the time is, are my winning hands predetermined, or is it random after I've held it? So that's great to finally answer that question. So the next question that I have for you, so we all know and we all understand that penny machines have the worst odds of any slot machine. Obviously video poker has different denominations and stuff. You can play 5-cent video poker, you can play $25 video poker a hand. When it comes to betting on video poker, do you guys find that the higher the denomination of the machine, the better the odds are, kind of in the same sense that slot machines operate? Or is video poker more pretty consistent across the board when it comes to denomination?
You want to answer that one, Matt?
I could. It kind of depends, because it's kind of, video poker is kind of weird like that. Like some casinos, the thing with video poker is you need to learn the pay tables, because you can have a bank of 10 video poker machines and you can walk down the line and 8 of them are short pays that pay back less, and 2 of them randomly in the middle can be paying back more. And it's weird, like at the casino near us, one of the casinos near us that we frequent, that we film at, they have a game outside the high limit room that pays back 98.5%. It's the best, happens to be the best game they have in that casino. In the high limit room, everything is lower.
Well,
So
unless you go to $25. If you go to
yeah, unless you go to
video poker,
$25 video poker, which is
it's
$125 a spin on
they'll
one
give you a better
hand.
pay table.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about video poker. You can tell if we went into a casino with you, we could take you around the casino and we could look at the pay table and say, okay, Brantley, this machine here is the best game. It's the highest return in the casino. We could tell you the strategy. I mean, we can't guarantee you're going to win.
Right.
Chances are it's going to be less than less than 100%. And some, if you go to northern Nevada, Reno, you'll find a lot of games that are around 100%, even for like nickels. But in most casinos in the U.S., you're going to find them anywhere between 97 to 98.5%. Most video poker games. But to give you an idea how much better video poker is in value for a player, say you're a penny player. If you're playing a slot machine, you're probably going to spend $1 to $1.50. Probably you're spending $1.50. I think most people, even on a penny slot machine. But per spin. So if you go to quarter video poker, 25-cent video poker, you can usually find a 95, and those penny slots are probably going to be set to program to pay back between as low as 85%, as high as maybe 90% at the very top end, most likely around 88%. But if you go to quarter video poker, so you bet five credits, it's $1.25 a spin, you're probably going to play a game that's at least 97.5%, 97.5, 98%. So why? And even if you're bad at video poker, say you're giving back an extra 2 to 3%, you're still way ahead by playing video poker. I think some people, though, it's not, they like the thrill of the bonus rounds and the excitement. It's a little different. They get bored by video poker. But for your gambling dollar, you will get much more value by being a video poker player than you will by being a slot player. That's why Matt and I play video poker most of the time. Now that we're doing these videos, we have the YouTube channel. We play slot machines once in a while, but most of our play is still on video poker.
We prefer to play video poker. We're only playing the slot machines because our viewers like us playing the slot machines.
Yeah.
So
which I think maybe we'll dive into this more in the strategy section, but if you could maybe think of some ideas in the meantime of ways to kind of help identify those pay tables.
I've got a few things that I got a few things that I'm going to show. I'm going to share my screen later and give a few tips here on how people can do that.
Can you show the pay tables now? You want to show the pay tables now, or you want to wait till later?
Let's talking about, I don't know. What do you think? You want me to show the pay tables now to show it, or do you want to wait?
Let's save it for the strategy section, because I think that's more strategy to help people out with that. So I think so let's round out our first topic of programming and paybacks. Is there anything that you guys want to add about video poker, how it's programmed different, or the programming behind it, or anything like that?
There's one thing I want to say, is because people will say this a lot. They'll be like, oh, yeah, that machine is supposed to pay back 98.5%. Because that's what the pay table says, but it doesn't really do that. The casinos are going to cheat you. They would never have a machine that pays back that much in a casino. I got news for you. Even a great video poker game, outside of Nevada, any video poker game, the casino's going to make money in the long run. They don't need to change it. The odds are in their favor. That's what I always say to everyone when they're like, oh, the casino's cheating us. Casino doesn't have to cheat you to make money. Every single game in a casino is designed for them to make money in the long run. There's no reason that they would need to cheat to do that. They can do it legitimately.
Exactly.
So for all the people that don't trust these video poker machines and just say, oh, they're not going to only take 1.5%. The casino will gladly take 1.5%. Anybody will gladly take 1.5% returns on their investments, and that's at the high end. I mean, at the low end, even on the low end of video poker, I said the worst ones are like 94.5%, 95%. That's 5.5 or 5% that they're making. They don't need to cheat to win. So
Yeah, and sometimes they'll say, "Oh, well, you know, the Indian casinos, they get these special chips and from the manufacturer, so they avoid giving you certain cards or something like that." And you know, the games that you're going to find in Indian casinos are pretty much the same anywhere else, and they're put out by companies that are based in Nevada, and Nevada gaming regulations wouldn't let them do something like that. So, and all the years, we've known a lot of professional video poker players. I've never heard a professional video poker player complain that they thought a game was fixed, a video poker machine. So no, that doesn't happen.
All right. Yeah, I think a lot of people are always thinking the casinos are out to get them and the casinos are rigging and cheating, and that's just not, they don't have to.
Yeah, all they
don't
want you
have
to do is play. If
Yep.
you play, the math will you know, take care of the situation, and the casino will end up winning.
Right. So let's move on to our second topic, different games. So right off the bat, what is the best game to play in video poker that people can find at most any casino that has video poker? I know you mentioned there's one game that is in northern Nevada still, that's not too common, but like out of Jacks Are Better, Deuces Wild, Joker Poker, all of that, what would you say is the best game for a player to play?
The easiest game to play is going to be Jacks Are Better. That has the easiest strategy. If you know anything about poker hands, even if you don't know how to play the strategy perfectly, it's pretty straightforward, and there's not really any weird hands that you would hold. And I would say, generally speaking, the Jacks Are Better is probably going to be one of the better paybacks in a casino. But like I said, some casinos are just straight up aren't going to have good games at all, and some casinos are going to have good games. And really, you're going to have to learn to look at the pay table. If you want, I can share the pay tables here. I can show you what the paybacks are for all the different games if you want.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Well, one thing I would like to add here, though, is the best game to play may depend on the player, because I like Jacks Are Better. I'm fine with Jacks Are Better, but a lot of people think it's a boring game. I like it because it's not a very volatile game. If you go into games like Double Double Bonus, well, we have
Double
bonus
double,
poker.
triple double, all those,
Right.
anything with a bonus in the name, the more bonus and the more doubles and triples there are in the name, the more volatile the game is going to be.
Right.
And I will show you why here in a second.
And those games, you have to have a bigger bankroll to play those games, because unless you get some of those rarer hands, your bankroll is going to be depleted as you go along the way. You're going to have wilder swings in your bankroll. You're probably going to have fewer winning sessions, but when you do have a winning session, you're going to win a lot more because you're going to get some of those rare hands. So people need to keep that in mind. If they like to play those games, you need to have a bigger bankroll to withstand the swings, because there's a volatility factor associated with each kind of pay table in video poker.
Okay, so as you can see here at the top, this is from our website, AmericanCasinoGuidebook.com. We have this whole section here, how to play video poker, where we have videos and articles. And if you see down here at the bottom, video poker pay tables, you come here and then we have them for all the different games. Jacks Are Better, Deuces Wild, and then bonus, double bonus, double bonus. So I'm going to start here. This is Jacks Are Better. And as I was saying before, it's depending, they can't change the odds of the cards coming out. So in order to change the payback, they have to change how much they pay you for each hand. This up here, right here, 9-6, this is the best version of Jacks Are Better that you will find in a casino. And this is for 1 coin bets. And it says 9-6 because it pays 9 coins for every 1 coin that you bet for a full house, and it pays 6 coins for every 1 coin that you bet for a flush. Meaning if you're betting max coins, all 5 coins, it's going to pay 45 for a full house and 30 for a flush. And this game pays back 99.54%. And then every time that they reduce 1 coin on the payback from full house to flush, it lowers the payback by 1.1%. So as you can see, going from 9-6 to 9-5, where flush only pays 5 coins per coin, it's going to drop from 99.54 to 98.45. And then as you can see, it keeps going down. And the worst game you'll find in a casino in jacks or better is 6-5 jacks or better, and that pays 95% even. So the higher the numbers that those pay back for full house and flush, the more the payback is. And the reason my dad was
so that's an easy way. That's an easy way to tell what is the best video poker game to play is by looking at that the full house and flush.
Yes, and that is for every game except Deuces Wild. And I'm not sure about Joker Poker. I don't play Joker Poker at all.
Mhm.
Neither does my dad. But for every game besides Deuces Wild, like it doesn't matter if it's jacks or better, bonus poker, double bonus, double double, triple double, triple triple, whatever the video poker game is, as long as it's not Deuces Wild, you're going to look at the full house and the flush. And the reason that my dad was saying earlier that it's not a volatile game is you see 4 of a kind here, it pays 25 per coin. So betting max credits, the max 5 coins, is going to pay 125 for any kind of full house. Now, if you go over to one of the other games here, is it this? Oh, that's Deuces Wild.
By the way, we should tell people you can go to our website and print these out, take them with you into the casino to help you find the machines if you're not familiar with them.
Yeah, these are all PDFs pulled straight from our website, and you can just click the print button there at the top and print these out and bring them in. And so this is bonus poker at the top here. And bonus poker, 8-5 bonus poker is the best you're going to find. That one's 99.1%. This is a bit, I think this is easier to find a little bit than the 9-6 jacks. And as you can see, instead of the 4 of a kind paying 25 credits for all of them, this one, if you get quads, 5s through kings, it pays 25, which would be 125 total. If you get quads of 2s, 3s, or 4s, it's going to pay 40 coins per, which would be 200 if you're betting max. And 4 aces pays 800 or 80, which is 400 credits if you're betting max. So they some of the payback of the game is tied up into those. That's what the rarer hands that my dad was talking about. You got to get 4 aces to get the bonus, or 4s, 2s, 3s, or 4s to get a little bit of a bonus. But it's some people might think that that's a more fun game to play because you have higher chances of getting better hands instead of waiting for a royal flush, to get that big payoff. You can get if you get 4 aces, it's going to be 400 instead of having to wait for a royal flush to get 4,000.
Right.
And then and as you can see, it's the same thing where the payback lowers from 8-5. When it lowers to 7-5, it goes down by the same 1.1%. And then that game's a little bit volatile. And then when you're getting into the more volatile games, which are down here, this is double bonus. And 10-7 double bonus. This is another game, if you can find it, which I doubt you're going to find outside of Nevada, it pays over 100%, 10-7. And then 9-7. But I mean, these are the best 2 versions of each of these games. This was pulled from our book, so we didn't have a huge amount of room, but the games are going to get worse than these pay tables. But just remember, anytime it goes down, you just subtract that 1.1%. And then, so this game is a bit more volatile because here on the double bonus, your 4 aces is paying double what it paid up here on regular bonus poker. And then the same thing, 4s, 2s, 3s, or 4s, is going to pay double what it paid up here, hence the name double bonus. And 4s, the quads of the 5s through kings is paying double as well. So this is going to be 250 if you're betting max credits. This one's going to be 400 if you're betting max credits. This one's going to be 800. But to make up for all those high-paying hands down here on 2 pair pays even money. If you look on the other games, on bonus poker, 2 pair pays double your money. And back on jacks or better, the 2 pair pays double your money. So that's why these games start to get really volatile. Is 2 pairs are a pretty common hand, So if you're only getting even money on a 2 pair, which is a very common hand, instead of getting double your money, that's what my dad was talking about, where you're going to have much bigger swings.
Okay.
So that's the one thing that my dad was saying. It depends on the player. If it's somebody like my dad who likes less volatile games and he likes his bankroll, he doesn't like having huge swings in his bankroll. He likes it to be a gradual process. I myself, I'm a bit more I like my risk a bit more than he does. So I like the games with the big swings. So I would prefer to play something like double double bonus, whereas he prefers something like jacks or better. So we generally meet in the middle and play single bonus poker.
Well, show the difference in double double bonus there.
Oh yeah. So then double double
even
bonus.
gets
This
wilder.
is the one I like, which gets even more volatile, because if you see here on double bonus up top, the 4 aces pays 160 per credit. Down here, you get 4 aces pays the same 160, but if you get 4 aces with a 2, 3, or 4 as the kicker for the 5th card, it pays 400. So it pays half of a royal flush. So you're getting 2,000 for your 4 of a kind if you have 4 aces with a kicker. And if you get 4 2, 3s, or 4s with the same low card kicker, the ace through the 4, it pays 160, which is
800.
800.
And what's the payback on this machine?
And sorry, and this is 10-6 double double bonus, which again, you're probably this version with the 10-6 for meaning 10 coins for the a full house, 6 coins for the flush. You're rarely going to find outside of Nevada, if at all, but that one pays over 100% as well. And then of course it's the same thing for every 1 coin they drop it by, it drops by 1.1%. So again, it's going to depend. There's 2 things it's going to depend on. One is the games that are offered in the casino. Some casinos are going to have some good versions of one game and bad versions of another. And the second thing it's going to matter is what kind of game the player likes to play. Because I mean, yeah, if they have great jacks or better, and you don't like playing jacks or better, you don't want to sit down and play a game you don't like just because it's better, you know?
Right.
You should, but some people aren't going to like doing that. One tool that I want to show people that my dad and I use anytime we're planning a trip is there's a website. I pulled it up here. It's called VPFree2. It's VPFree2.com. And it's a website. You go there and they have every single casino in the entire country, and you can browse by region. I just pulled this up. This is say you're planning a trip to Las Vegas and you're going to stay at, let me just scroll down to a random one here. The Cannery, or the California Hotel and Casino in downtown Las Vegas. You click on this, it shows you the best version of every single game they have in the casino. And it shows what denomination it is. They have this game, it's Deuces Wild. It's a good Deuces Wild game that pays back. It shows the payback percentage, 99.73. Says they have it for nickels, 10-cent, quarter, 50-cent, 1 play machine, and it shows you exactly where it is in the casino right here. First alcove up ramp from the hotel registration.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is a really handy if you're going somewhere that you have never been before, or if you're just learning to play video poker and you don't want to have to walk through the casino yourself to find the best games.
So we'll
Definitely.
put that link in the video description as well, because I think that's going to be a resource for a lot of people. It's VPFree2, the number 2.com. Okay.
Yeah, we use it all the time when we're going somewhere we're not familiar with the machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of video poker players are really going to appreciate that, having that resource. So
yeah,
make sure to
it's
include that.
very good for new video poker players also. Because for somebody that doesn't know how to identify the pay tables that well, like instead of having to print the pay tables out that I just showed, go into the casino and look yourself, you can just come here and cut out the middleman and they'll tell you. And it's fairly accurate. They have people that go to all the casinos and update it themselves. I rarely see anything that's wrong on here. So let me go ahead. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, I think that's a great resource for people to have. So again, for our viewers, we're going to put the link to that website in the description of this video as well, so that people can access that resource when they go. So really, in terms of best games and worst games, it's really kind of all dependent. Really,
yeah,
it's dependent on a lot.
Yeah, there is no magic answer there that's going to tell you. There's a lot of moving pieces.
For me, or probably also for Matt, if I'm going to a casino, I'm probably going to play the game that has the best payback percentage. Now we didn't used to, well, I didn't used to play double bonus, so I wasn't quite familiar. We're going to talk about strategy here. So it helps if you know the strategy. I would shy away from double bonus, but during the past few months, Matt and I because Double Double Bonus is the best game on some of the machines, we're playing that more often. And we've been practicing. We have software that we practice with. We'll talk about that. But given a choice, I would always go to the game that has the highest payback percentage in that particular casino.
As long as you know how to play it. We
Like,
should
yes.
put that caveat in, because like I
Uh-huh.
said earlier, these payback percentages that we're talking about, you're only going to achieve that payback if you know the strategy perfectly. And that's one thing. If you see it, if you go into a casino and they have a game that pays back better than what you're normally playing, but you don't know how to play it, you're probably not going to achieve that payback either. So that's another thing that you should take into account, is only play the games that you know how to play. If there's a game that has a higher payback and you don't know the strategy, you're probably better off playing the game that you know how to play with the lower strategy, because you're not going to hit that high strategy if you don't, or the high payback, if you don't know how to play the game.
Mhm.
So really quick here, I want to ask one question, because I know, you know, obviously video poker, the same with slot machines, you can choose to bet one coin all the way up to, you know, on video poker, you can bet 5, sometimes more. I know there's a lot of different versions out there, you know, multiple hand pokers and stuff where you can bet, you know, 5 credits per hand and have multiple hands. With video poker, does it matter, or is it more of an advantage to the player to play one coin or max coin on video poker?
I actually had that to pull up. I would had that set up ready to pull up too. So I'm going to
Perfect.
share it. I'm going to share it again here. This is from Video Poker, a website called videopoker.com, where you can play video poker. I just have it set up. This is the pay table at the top here. So you see this column, the red column here, that's if you're betting one coin. You know, so if you want to bet one coin, it would be that column. You go up to 2 coins, it's that column. 3 coins, it's this column. 4 coins, it's this one. And then 5, of course, is the 5th column. And as you'll see on, if you, except for the royal flush, every single other hand goes up gradually. You know, like it's 1x for the first column and 5x for the right. If you're betting 5 coins, you're going to make 5 times the bet. But if you look up at the royal flush, they give you a bonus for betting. Sorry, I just went on the menu there. They give you that bonus, because generally, if it pays, a royal flush pays 250 coins for one credit bet. Up to 4 coins, it pays 1,000. If you kept going with that, 5 coins, of course, would pay 1,250, but it doesn't. It gives you this bonus, goes up to 4,000. So if the machine looks like that, then yes, you should, it would be to your advantage to bet the max credits and get the royal flush. Because if you're betting less than max and you're not getting that 4,000 coin bonus, it's going to take off. It's like, I think it's about 2% of the payback of the game. Like, so if you're playing a game that's 99% payback, you're not betting max coins, I believe it lowers it by 2%. So really you're playing a game that only pays back 97%.
So they'd be at a disadvantage to play one credit or a couple. It's better just to play max when it comes to video poker.
Yeah, so like say if you're sitting at a dollar machine and you're betting 1 coin on a dollar machine for $1 a spin, you'd be much better off going to quarters and bet, well, assuming the pay tables are the same, you'd be much better off going down to quarters and betting max credits on quarters versus 1 coin on a dollar machine. Because yeah, you're going to be betting 25 cents more, but it's worth it in the long run. Because if you happen to get a royal flush, it's very hard to get a royal flush. If you get a royal, wouldn't you rather it pay 4,000 instead of 250 for 1
Right.
coin?
So when it comes to video poker, obviously, like with slot machines, the denomination is extremely important of the machine versus the, you know, the amount that you're betting on it. But with video poker, it seems to be kind of the opposite. It's almost like the max coin is more important than the actual denomination. Consider if all the pay tables are the same. So, for example, if you have a budget to say play $5 a hand, it would be more advantageous for you to play a dollar machine at 5 credits max than it would be to play a $5 video poker machine playing just 1 coin.
Yes.
Perfect.
Now, now that I think about it, that 2% might, because I know if you don't hit a royal at all in your session, it's gonna pay back 2% less. So not betting the max coins is probably a little less than 2%, but it's still, I mean, would you rather get paid 1,000 credits for 4 coins, or would you rather get paid 4,000 credits for 5 coins? It is
Well,
definitely worth it.
we have software that could figure that out for you,
Yeah.
but we can get the answer for you. If
Yeah.
you want.
All right. So before we move on to our strategies topic, is there anything in particular about the game aspect of like different games, like, which I know we talked a little bit about Jacks are better, that you prefer, games that are better that you prefer, or like in your experience, like some of the worst games, or anything that you want to add in reference to the games before we move on to the strategy section?
I think I'd mention that there's when you're looking at pay tables, common pay tables, because most of the pay tables that Matt showed you there are probably the common pay tables you're going to find. But when it comes to Deuces Wild, there are a lot more variations in the pay table. And usually we find that some of the lower pay tables can be found on Deuces Wild.
Yes, Deuces, that was exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, if you're not familiar with pay tables and you don't have them all, I don't even have all the Deuces Wild pay tables committed to memory. If I go to a casino and I want to see if they have good Deuces Wild, I have to look it up still. They change drastically. Like pretty much, it's like we were talking 9-6. You know, there's only two hands that are going to change on Jacks or better or any of the bonus poker variations. On Deuces Wild, it's going to change pretty much everything under five of a kind and down. So everything except for 4 deuces and a royal flush can change on a Deuces Wild pay table, and it can be anywhere from, like, here I have it. Let me pull it up one more time.
Yeah, it gets complicated with Deuces Wild. There's huge variations in the pay tables.
Hang on, let's see here. So this is my this one is the Deuces Wild pay table. So look, full pay Deuces Wild. This is what my dad was talking about here. Pays back 100.76%. The worst Deuces Wild they have, the short pay Deuces Wild, pays back 94.34%. So you can be anywhere. And look, I mean, look at it. It's one, like, look, this one pays 122,359. This one's 22349. This one's 12344, 1016. Like they're all over the place. So it's, unless you know exactly what you're doing with Deuces Wild, I would steer clear from Deuces Wild. That would probably be the last game you should learn how to play, because the pay tables are very complicated. The strategy is very complicated. Like, you do real weird stuff in that game. And it, like, we at one of the casinos we were filming at, we saw that one of the better games they have is Deuces Wild, and we won't even touch it because we don't know how to play it.
One other game you might want to talk about could be Ultimate X, because that's another complicated game.
Yeah, Ultimate X, it's because, you know, they have all these video pokers games with the bonus features and all that stuff. There's like Super Times Pay, Ultimate X, Hot Roll Poker. There's all these games where you can bet extra money and get a bonus. The strategy does not change in any of those games except for Ultimate X. And Ultimate X is one of the most popular variations of video poker in casinos. You go there, if there's Ultimate X machines, they're pretty much always taken by people. And the way that game works is you have to double your bet. So you have to bet 10 credits per hand instead of 5 credits. And then you get a bonus multiplier on your next hand based on the winning hand that you had on this hand. And in that game, since you're betting so much, you have to sort of fish for the higher paying hands that give you higher multipliers. So I would, the strategy on that is, my dad and I have tried to learn the strategy, and it's extremely complicated. We've been playing video poker I've been playing for over 10 years. He's probably been playing for over 20 years. And it's a real hard game to learn. And I was shocked at how different the strategy was. I didn't even know until we started using this website. And so steer clear of Ultimate X. Is another one.
Good to know.
It's a fun game, but my God, is that strategy crazy.
So speaking of strategies, we'll move on to our final topic of the video, which is strategies. So we already discussed the pay tables and making sure that people look at the pay tables, because that's going to be really the most important thing in choosing a game, is looking at the pay tables. So with video poker strategy, should people play it exactly like you would a game of poker? You know, holding certain hands, knowing what to look for. Should people really how do I say it? Should you know how to play poker before you play video poker, kind of deal?
No, you don't need to know anything about table poker, because table poker, it's you against the other guy, and there's a lot of psychology and bluffing involved. With video poker, there's none of that. It's just you. You're trying to get certain hands, and you know you're going to get paid when you get those hands. So in that sense, maybe in the ranking, and that's not even necessarily in the ranking of poker hands, you don't really need to know that, because the machine will automatically give it to you. So you don't need to know. It's very different than table poker. Let's start off by saying that.
Yeah, it would probably be better if you hadn't played table poker before, because there's like I'll play and like I'll be playing and I'll see someone sit next to me where like if they get dealt a low pair, like a pair of, you need, the reason the game is called jacks or better is because you need a pair of jacks or better to win your money back. And if I'll be playing and I'll see people will be they'll get dealt their 5 cards, and like they'll have like a low pair, like a pair of 5s, and then they'll have like an ace or a face card. You know, in poker, that face card might be good because it's, you know, if I've got 5s and you've got 5s, but I've got an ace kicker and you've got a jack kicker, I'm going to win. The kicker doesn't matter unless you get into those crazy 4 of a kind. So you would hold just the low pair. You wouldn't hold like any face cards as a high kicker to go with it. And I've seen some people, not many people do that, but I've noticed some people will do that. They'll keep a low pair and a high card as a kicker, thinking like from poker that an ace kicker is good, you know, but kickers don't matter in video poker unless you're playing double bonus or something like that, where you have to have quads with the kicker.
So would you say that
So
that's like one of the most common mistakes people make is like trying to hold a kicker or anything like that?
I don't,
I
what
don't
would
think
you
it's
think is the
common.
most common? That's
Yeah,
probably an uncommon one. I've seen people do it and it always sticks in my mind that I'm like, oh, they must play table
yeah,
poker.
I don't think many people do that, but some people do. Well, the thing you need to know about the strategy is the strategy in video poker is similar to blackjack. There are you know, they take computer simulations and millions of hands, and there's always one best mathematically correct way to play your hand in any given situation. So it's the same in blackjack, it's the same in video poker. What happens is, and we use software programs to practice on. We're going to talk about it. But what it does is it analyzes all the ways you can play your hands, and it comes up with a number it calls the EV. The EV is the expected value of your hand. And this is the mathematically, the higher the EV, the better, the more likely you are. The highest EV is what you want to shoot for. So, and that's the expected number of coins. So that you're going to get for that hand in the long run. So there's always one that you want to, one mathematically correct way to play your hand. So you need to play on software to learn how to do it correctly. So there's a couple of sites. Videopoker.com. Maybe you can tell people about that, Matt, and our sign up page so they can learn that too.
Yeah, so videopoker.com is what I was just sharing on, and I'll show it real quick here. This is one of their training features that they have here. So if I was here, if you get their gold membership, they have you can play for free, but the gold membership is we have if you go to videopoker.com/ACG, generally you have to pay for this gold membership, but you get 14 days for free if you use that link from us. And so for instance, this is the gold membership. I'll just show you, I'll play like 3 hands real quick just to show you how it works. Jacks are better. You're going to deal. It's going to, here's the hand that you get dealt. You know, this is like I was saying, a low pair with the, so if you were to keep the 3s, that's the correct way to play it, is you just keep the low hit pair. But say that somebody was playing, they're used to playing poker. They're like, oh, I got a low pair, but I got an ace kicker. Let's keep this ace kicker. and you go to do that, and it's got this traffic light here, where it's, if you had played it correctly, the green light would have shown up. This is an slight incorrect play, would be the yellow. But like, for instance, if you were to just hold, if you were to hold nothing here, that's a big no-no. It shows you a red light, and then it tells you the best way to play it down there in this little thing here. So there's videopoker.com, you can do it. Also, if you go to our website, americancasinoguidebook.com, we sell training software where you could, because that one you got to pay monthly for it. If you don't want to pay for a monthly membership, you just want to pay it up front and then own it forever for yourself. We sell the software on our website.
It's called Win Poker. We've been selling it for 20 years. Matt learned when he was a little kid.
Yeah, I learned how to play video poker before
there.
I learned how to drive, because my dad always had that installed on the computer, and when I'd get bored, I would play it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's so easy. Even a child can do it. Not that a child should ever be gambling, but
So
yeah. So there's those.
We're going to make sure to include that link also in the description of the video for your website, for people to go to and to be able to get that, and then for the videopoker.com site as well. We'll make sure to include that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, and then that's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, so when you, people who are not familiar with video poker, all of this may seem a little overwhelming at first, but I mean, it's the way we all started. I didn't know anything about video poker when I first started. I first learned about going to casinos and found that video poker was the best game to play. And I read books about it and learned about it and practiced with software. And it's something you just gradually get used to. But if you go and you use you use the software, and after a while, you'll find that you know how to play your hands, most hands, perfectly. Every once in a while, you're going to have a rare hand, and you're not going to be sure how to play it. So you don't want to use your phone to bring up a website to learn how to play your hands. Technically, you're not supposed to use any electronic devices in a casino to help you play, so it could be frowned upon. But there are strategy cards that you can use. Sometimes you can go out on Amazon, you can buy strategy cards there. If you go to our website, we have 2 strategy cards that you can print out for free, put them in your pocket. If you have a hand, they're both for jacks or better. If you have a hand you're not familiar with, you could take out the strategy chart and look at it, and then they're ranked in order of how you should play your hand. And then you can see how to play your hand and put it back in your pocket. And but that's another thing. So what you want to do is you want to get used to playing this on
your own,
with the training. On your own, on a software program.
And then and then you bring one of those strategy charts with you into the casinos. Like if we're playing a weird game that we don't know 100%, we do the same thing. We print out the strategy chart, we bring it in the casino, just leave it in your pocket. And then if you get dealt some weird hand that you're like, if there's multiple ways to play it, like if you're just learning and you have like a low pair or a 4-card flush and you don't know which one to keep, you just pull the strategy chart out and you look at it and you just see whichever is ranked higher on the list is 4-card flush higher or is a low pair higher. And the 4-card flush is the correct play there. So you would keep the 4-card flush. You would see that that's ranked higher on the card, and then just whatever's ranked higher, they're super easy to use.
You have access to it there, Matt, if you want to go to the website to bring it up.
Oh, let me see if I have it pulled up here. Strategy charts here. Let me pull it up and then let me share the screen here. So yeah, so we're going to go back, share the screen. So, and it's back on, you go to how to play video poker. It's going to bring you to this screen again that I showed earlier with all the videos and all the articles. You scroll down, it says here, free video poker strategy charts. You click there. And then, like my dad said, we only have the 2. We have the one for 9-6 jacks or better or 8-5 jacks or better. And the strategy does change slightly when the pay table changes. So you pull this up, and again, this is a PDF. You can just print it and fold it up, put it in your pocket, and then it just has everything ranked. Royal flush is number 1, of course, because that's the best hand, and then That's if you're a Delt Royal, which is very, very rare. But then, you come down here, and so
Like number 16, let's say you were dealt 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. So you have an open-ended straight and you have a pair of sixes. So you say,
yeah.
well, should I keep the 4-card open-ended straight, or should I keep the pair of sixes? So you would look at the chart here, say, okay, number 16 would be the pair of sixes. And then the 4-card straight with no high cards is 21, number 21 there. So
Yeah,
your 3, 4, 5, 6 is 21, and your pair of sixes is 16. So you would go with the 16 because it's ranked higher.
And then, so that's the one of that. And then if you look at what I was talking about earlier, the low pair, if you have the pair of sixes, it's again ranked number 16. But if you have the 4-card flush, 4-card flush is ranked number 14. So if you had 4 hearts and then the 5th one was offsuit, and then you had to say a 6 of clubs and then a 6 of hearts out of the 4 hearts, you'd go with the 4-card flush instead, because a flush pays more than a straight. So that's why there's the difference there. So that, I think, is another good thing that people can do is if you're playing either of those 2 jacks or better games, print them out for free from our website. If you're playing a different game, you might need to go buy the strategy chart somewhere, but that's another tool where if you learn the game, and even if you don't know it 100%, you bring that strategy chart with you, so that way you don't make any mistakes.
And I would say the best thing to do is probably to use Win Poker, because you have it, you own it, you keep it on your computer. And I mean, it'll track your play. It has 3 play, 5 play, 10 play on there. The only thing you're not going to find there are the exotic games like Super Times Pay, Ultimate X, that you will find on videopoker.com. But for the basics of learning, and you can find all the games on the Win Poker, it's $29.95. It's an automatic download. There's a link on our website. And for an extra $5, they'll mail you a CD version. So you have the download plus the CD version with you as a backup. So I would say that's the best. And it's very sophisticated. I mean, not only will it tell you how to play your hands, it'll keep track of your play. It'll tell you how much your mistakes, how many mistakes you made. It'll tell you the cost of those mistakes in coins. So it's very sophisticated. And it's the best way to learn how to play video poker.
So I think when it comes to strategy, kind of going back to what you said at the very beginning of the video, is, unlike slot machines, video poker is a game of skill. So players do have an edge if they know what they're doing.
Well, we'll say they have an edge if they can find the right game. It's hard to get an edge. Years ago, it used to be easier. But people have gotten smarter, and as people have gotten smarter and learned to switch to video poker, the casinos have tightened up the machines, because the pay tables used to be more liberal. Like the casino near us, they used to have 9-6 jacks or better for quarters. They took it all out. But it's a trend in all the casinos. The games are tighter. But you as a player, it's your job to go in there and find the best machine that's going to give you the most value for your money to play. And you can always do that with video poker. You can't do that with a slot machine. You never know what a slot machine's programmed to pay back, but you know what a video poker machine is programmed to pay back. That's the best thing about video poker.
So, and I think that's the best thing, the best advice that we could give to players in general is you've got to know your pay tables and look at your pay tables. That's the most important thing with video poker. So before you sit down to play it, make sure that you look at your pay tables.
Yeah, well, 2 most important things. Number 1 is learn how to play.
Yeah.
Learn how to play first. And then after you learn how to play, number 2 is look at your pay tables.
Exactly.
And you do those 2 things, and you'll always have you won't get an edge like you said, but you'll be able to lower that edge to almost nothing compared to a slot machine.
But one thing, you have to be somewhat flexible, because one casino, the best game in one casino may not be the best game in the next casino. It's one game, it's jacks or better. Another casino, it's bonus poker. Another casino, it's double bonus. So just if you know which casino you're going to, and you know which is the best game, practice to make sure you're very proficient at that particular game before you head in there. And so you're going to play the best game. You're going to use the best strategy, and also something else you probably want to look at. We didn't get into it. Is the benefits of the Players Club. Now, a lot of casinos, if you play video poker, they will, you have to put in twice as much coin as you do for slot machines. So as a player in general, if you have to earn twice as many, you have to put in twice as much. You ought to know that it's a much better game. The casino's making much less off you, but it's not necessarily bad. There's factors you have to take into account, to find which casino offers you the best benefits for your video poker play. But that's something else to take into consideration.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's all the topics that I had here for you guys today. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
I don't think so. Just if you ever want to watch us play video poker and see how it works in a casino, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. from the casino near us, and we're pretty much always playing video poker. So if you ever want to see how it works live in the casino and don't have to risk your own money, you can just watch us play instead.
Yeah, our
much
motto
more
is
fun to watch. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say our motto is we lose money so you don't have to.
There you go.
Mhm.
Well, Matt and Steve Borey, everyone from American Casino Guide. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the Cowboy Slot channel. And again, we're going to include all the links in the description of this video. And be sure also, everyone, to subscribe to the American Casino Guides channel on YouTube. We're going to have that as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me here today. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your knowledge.
All right. Thank you, Brantley. Nice to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too. Take it easy.